Hello everybody, welcome back to Awkwarism Gaming and the update video on where I've been. I have not been uploading on YouTube for a good while now, and I figured I'd make a video explain why, because it will give you insight on who I am as a person, and also if any of you guys are going through these specific topics, it could help you understand what you're actually going through. So I wanted to start off with, I am very disabled. I have a mild case of autism, so luckily I can function in a set, but I get overwhelmed very easily, so I have to take things at my own pace. I also have other things like extreme anxiety, so I'm a very shy person if you don't actually know me and I don't know you. I will not talk to you. It gets weird. Anyways, so I'm constantly battling my own brain because my brain will make me think things are either fine when they're not or not fine when they are. And so I always have to sit there and run everything that's going on through my brain like a filter to make sure that it's not me personally that's making the out view of what's happening seem wrong. So 6 years ago, I started dating someone, and you know, they seemed to have all of their stuff together. They had a job, they had their own vehicle. Like, I thought I actually had a decent person. Move forward 6 years, and yeah, they gave me enough red flags that I could make a scarf and wear it. But I cared too much to the point that I kind of overlooked those, and then I tried to understand them because everybody's going through their own thing. Even if you're in a relationship with someone, they could be going through their own thing and not feel comfortable telling you or not able to express it, just like you could to them. Being in a relationship is a very tricky thing, and it takes a lot of understanding and a lot of trust. Sadly, through these 6 years, that's exactly what they lost. They lost my trust. So when I tried to understand them, I tried to understand why they were doing the things they were doing and if there was a way I could prevent it. And it mostly came down to their family versus me. And trying to get them on the right path so we could have a brighter future than where we were heading down. Which even I didn't know how bad that was going to end up. Like, it didn't hit the boiling point until later. Eventually everything did slowly degrade, and we started making worse decisions, started doing terrible things, and eventually we just lost everything. When that kind of happened, it was mostly just us over caring too much. We had a friend at the time still from us, hence why I don't play Xbox anymore. My Xbox was jacked. So, you know, that was fun. Which even more was red flags that I was not in a good place, and I probably shouldn't have been with this person. But again, I overlooked it because with my brain, it makes me constantly contradict myself. Like, I know things are bad, but maybe they're just bad today. And I felt like that was very toxic of me because it prolonged my staying in that relationship. So once we lost everything, then came the homelessness. I have been homeless for basically 2 years. If you watch my videos, before I got the green screen and on Instagram, you will see that I have posted where there's different formats in the background. I have, there's different walls and different things in the background, and that's because we were hopping. And it got so bad that we were actually just hopping from motel room to motel room to building and stuff like that. And it's so weird because where you're so like a young adult that, a motel room or a hotel room, all your bills are in one payment. So it makes your brain think like, oh, well, this is easier than affording an apartment or a house or anything else, because it's just one bill instead of multiple bills that you got to keep a tab on. And with me already at war with my brain, I kind of just shook my head and was like, sure, why not? So ended up I wasn't actually homeless until they got arrested. Now, this isn't this update and talking about these things isn't about me bashing this person. It's not. It's not about revenge or anything. It's about just explaining that you could think that everything's good, but sometimes it's best to take a moment and step back from the person. So I prior to that, we pretty much were heading down a road to death. Like there was some decisions that I regret to this day that I chose to do out of love, out of caring, out of trying to understand a person that wasn't actually giving me, or more to the fact that they thought they were giving me, but they didn't understand what they were doing. So it just led to pretty much the blind leading the blind into this death road. Luckily, though, I have a very good group of friends that we would of course always talk when we hung out and stuff, and they would pretty much poke holes in the fog that was surrounding me to able me to see through and realize this is not okay. There was moments that I would wake up and literally feel like I was living one of those Lifetime movies, and I'm like, how the heck did my life get like this? How? And then at that point, you're so far down that you know that it's wrong. You know that what's going on in your life is wrong, and that you don't want this life. But then you're trying to figure out, okay, what are the steps to get out of it? Like no one gives you a map. I ended up having to look at what was best for me, which sadly for them was a life without them. They were bringing so much chaos, so much darkness into a life that I just wanted to simply have no drama. I just wanted to do my own thing and live my life. So it ultimately made me have to pretty much, what was best for me was to leave them. Sadly, I had to buy my time. It was kind of like a chess move where you're in a spy movie. Some people can't leave a toxic or abusive relationship because they don't have the resources, and they don't have a place to go. Me, I don't live by any of my family. I am just here. So I didn't have anyone to crash with. Luckily, I did have friends, and so I did couch surf for the last year of me being homeless. So I just lost my train of thought. Awesome. Okay. Luckily, I have a sheet of paper here that has all the things. So the first step was I had to figure out a plan. I had to figure out a plan to do this, which ultimately meant that I didn't want any conflict. I didn't want to fight with them. I didn't want it to be ugly. I didn't want any of this stuff. I just wanted to get my stuff and leave. I wanted to leave on good terms, if that makes sense. So once I came up with a plan, I had some friends and we boxed up all my stuff, and it's very bad when somebody gaslights you with your own disorders and makes you think that you're crazy. Like that's the worst thing anyone in any situation, be it friend, romantic relationship, family, no one should ever do that to another person. And they pretty much showed up while I was boxing my stuff, and things kind of escalated, but luckily not to any physical abuse or anything. We pretty much just talked, and I tried to make them understand that this isn't working. Like, in the longevity of our relationship, there were so many lies that were told. There were so many things that I physically could not trust them. And if you cannot have a relationship of trust, it's doomed to fail. And they obviously made it very clear that they weren't looking to repair that in any sense of the way. So this was the best move for me. The sad thing is I'm a very caring person, and I'm a very understanding person. So the second step was killing the love so I didn't go back to them. And that takes a lot of things. Pretty much the whole 6 years, all the actions that they had made me endure from being in a relationship with them, I kind of harnessed all that, and I kind of turned it to anger and kind of went dark side with it. and I kind of used that anger to not talk to them, to not be around them, because I knew, because you only know yourself, and you can only prepare for what you can do. You can't prepare for what somebody else is going to do. So I did that so that I could not feel sorry for them and take them back. And it was the toughest thing I've ever had to do, because again, you got this relationship that I've had for 6 years, and there was good times. Like there's always good times. No matter how much bad times there are, there was at least a little sliver of good times, and your mind weirdly focuses on that when you're trying to break up. So luckily I was able to do that. I couch surfed with some friends, and around that time I couldn't set a decent schedule to record. So I figured, as much as I hated doing it, I had to take a step back from YouTube. I wasn't right mentally. I had very bad depression. I had very bad anxiety. I didn't know where my life was going. And there was just so many things to focus on that I kind of wanted YouTube to escape, but I couldn't give you guys decent content because I was worried that I would just be monotone, or I would be extremely depressed while recording, and you guys would catch on, and then it would just not be fun for anyone. So after that, there was pretty much a whirlwind of feelings. Like I was extremely depressed, but the major one was just feeling lost. Like you're in a relationship for so long that you're so used to sleeping next to someone, to you kind of look around when it's around their time that they normally come home from work, and all these things still happen, and they kind of go away over time, but it's like the first couple months is terrible, and it fed more into my anger and my hate and my depression, because it was mostly their own actions of not showing me the same level of respect that I was showing them that pretty much costed them me. And I saw that, but it didn't really help my heart not break anymore. So to cure that, I pretty much leaned on my own strength, which was pretty hard to find, because I ended up later finding out that I kind of gave them too much power over my life. I didn't pay bills, I gave them money to pay bills. And then when bills didn't get paid, even though I gave them money, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. But they always came up with an excuse, and I just would take it at face value. And this had gone on so long that it took me a little learning curve to relearn how to survive on my own without somebody handling everything. And once I got down that, it was then back to moving on, but I had trouble. So I started looking for places for myself, and I ended up finding a place, but I got rejected. And this came as a surprise to me, because I called them and I was very upfront with them, and I was like, well, why did I get denied? And they said, you owe too much debt. I was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? So I downloaded Credit Karma so I could keep tabs on my credit, and I had debt that was worth $2,000. Through the course of 6 years, I didn't even know this. So all these actions and stuff that this person had done is now affecting my life as I'm trying to move past it. So that's what led to it being pretty much a year of me being homeless, is because I had to squash all those debts. And so the lesson to that is, watch out what, your debts, they don't go away. You gotta wait 7 years for them to go away, and you don't want them to stack, because then they're gonna start hurting you. So once I was able to pay for that, I finally got my own place. I was so happy. It was like one of the final stones on the wall that was separating us, of me doing my own thing and being in a better place mentally, physically, and all the senses. So after that, I am doing better. As you guys will see, this is going to be the first video that I'm uploading onto my channel following the regular block schedule that I normally keep. new games coming and Let's Plays, and possibly new reactions and stuff like that to keep you guys entertained. But yeah, I wanted to take a moment to talk about this, and I don't know why, but I was extremely nervous when I first started this. I sat here by my computer and my camera and was like, oh God, how is this gonna happen? But I hope that you guys, gather something from this, and that it can help you in your life, because that's really all we're here for, is to help the other person. So no matter what kind of relationship you're applying this to, if you're giving more to it than the other person and they just don't want to, or it's abundantly clear that they're making excuses not to, then maybe stop giving so much. Take stock in you, and don't ever forget to constantly do you, and if you have extra energy, then help others, but yourself should always be first. And when somebody gives you red flags, try and understand the red flags. Don't just sit there, because sometimes it can be something fixed, and sometimes it can be a hard red flag, and that's just when it is nope. You only get 3 of those. Then you should probably cut it off. I do feel very annoyed that I sat there and for 6 years was with this person when I could have been doing better things. And instead of us building a life to reach higher limits, I'm now back to where I was like 6 years ago. I haven't moved physically at all, but I am doing better. I feel like everything's kind of like quieting down. I'm not in any more drama, not in any more places that could hurt me or anything. And I'm just trying to keep my head up. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope this helps you out. So I am going to be uploading. We're going to finish off The Last of Us Part 2 on Mondays. Tuesday is going to be Resident Evil 8, excited for that. Wednesdays is going to be Concrete Genie, which is a lovely, nice, whimsical game with vibrant colors and an incredible art style and graphic design. Then we're going to have on Thursday Star Wars Fallen Order. One of my Star Wars friends has pretty much shoved this game at me and was like, you need to play this, it's so good. So that's on my channel now. And then Friday we're going to be doing Outriders. I do know about the server issues. Luckily they haven't affected me because I've already recorded 4 episodes. Here's hoping that they don't. So yeah, that's my whole lineup. I did say I might have some reactions. I'm working on that, so I don't really know if they'll come out this month or the following month, but keep your eyes peeled. And that's it for me. So I hope you liked this video, and hope it helps. This is me signing off. Bye.